Hey, I'm Felissa Rose, Angela from Sleepaway Camp, and you're listening to Gag Me with a Knife. Yeah!
Hey, Nick!
What?
You ready to go to camp?
Oh, yeah.
You want to go to camp? You want to go to camp? You want to go to camp? You want to go to camp?
I'm not legally allowed to be within 500 yards of those kids, but hey, guys, it's your favorite final girl and boy, Emily and Nick, and your favorite final baby, Mike.
Yo.
Coming at you with a new episode of Gag Me with a Knife, a weekly podcast where we disembowel and the best and worst slasher movies. This week we're going to camp, and we got that original Sleepaway Camp from 1983.
Y'all been waiting for it.
With an extra special interview. Spoilers! Emily's got that box.
The camp's activity for today: murder. Dear Mom and Dad,
Satan!
you've got to get me out of here right away.
Jane, get me off of this crazy thing.
There's a crazy killer on the loose, and the kids are being scared to death, and a girl was brutally stabbed while taking a shower, and nobody's doing anything about it.
Nobody will. They won't clean up the shower.
Perfect place of sweet girls has become a slaughtering ground for a bloodthirsty, murdering monster. Wait a minute. I think I hear someone coming up.
They're coming.
1983, your thoughts?
Hey, man, this movie's classic and it's great, and it rules. It's always gonna be good.
Don't you?
I don't know, Mike. You want to stop rapping over there and tell us your thoughts?
I love
on it?
this movie.
I still love you, baby.
Okay, Emily, just tell us your thoughts on the movie because Mike's he's writing a 70s soul song over there.
I love this movie. It's in my top 5 favorite horror movies. It's obviously in my top 15 favorite slashers, but it's in my top 5 favorite horror in general. I love this movie. It's a very early watch for me. The ending is cannot ever be replicated. I have a lot of good memories with this movie as well as I watched it with my good friend Kim, and
Rest in peace.
Yeah, love her. She's in episode 40. If y'all want to go listen to my best friend did an episode with us about growing up horror, go listen to episode 40. It's a good one.
You should do it.
So this one's for Kim.
Kim. I didn't know you.
This one's for Kim.
Not you, Katie. It's for Kim.
No, this ain't about you, Katie.
This one's not about you, Katie.
Yo, Nick, let me get one of them frosty barley pops.
Oh yeah, 1 second. Can you get us started in the interim?
Yeah, can you go ahead and get started?
A little crispy boy.
It starts out with a text that says, "In fond memory of Mom, a doer."
Yeah.
And it starts out. It's got this. It looks like it's Camp Arawak, but it's during the fall. Like there's leaves everywhere. There's sinister music and we get a voiceover of campers, but it's like nobody's at the camp. And then there's a for sale sign. And then it looks like, oh, it's summer now. It's a nice day out on the water at Lake Arawak, I guess.
Or it's yeah.
And Peter,
and who knows why they're there? Because I guess whatever.
I wrote down
Unlike
Peter
Lake
and his sister
Arawak.
are fighting, but no. Yeah, Peter and his sister.
It's a little boy. You don't know their names. There's a little boy and a little girl fighting, and their dad is on like the boat with them.
Yeah, they're fighting. Well, they're on the dock, kind of. Wait, no, they're on the boat and it falls.
They're
over.
on the boat. Yeah, it falls over.
The dad's like chilling them out, and there's a guy.
Chill him out.
And 2 girls on a boat. Well, a guy and 1 girl, Mary Ann, on a boat.
Figure it out, Mike.
With a girl behind them.
This goes on for this scene goes on for way too long.
I think it's good, man.
I don't.
The kids push the dad in. The boat turns over.
It's like a canoe. It's not like a big old boat. It's like a. Is it a canoe? Is it a canoe or a kayak or it's one of those little. I mean, it's a canoe, I think.
There's multiple people on it.
The dad's lover, it turns out, calls to him from the shore and is like, "Oh,
we got to go meet the doc." And they're like, "Is Ricky going to be there?" And he's like, "I think he's spending this week with his father."
I wish I'd mentioned it. My favorite character is the aunt. she's fucking nuts.
Well, she's coming up. She hasn't been in the movie yet. So.
No, but she's alluded to the doc.
Yeah, she died last year. I think. Yeah, last year.
And the girl.
And was a woman, by the way. A lot of people didn't know.
It's like, let me drive the boat. And the guy lets her drive the boat, and they're fucking about. And the water skier's like, the boat! She's like, watch out for the boat.
You know what she could have done is just what you usually do when you're skiing and you're ready to stop. You just bail and fall.
She was trying to warn them, like,
but the best way you can do that is to stop what you're doing, so they said they have to turn around to come get you.
Yeah.
Instead of just screaming where they can't fucking hear her because they're in a fucking motorboat.
Motorboat.
So the motorboat ends up killing the dad and the little girl. You see, so they're a bloody life jacket. So the little girl's dead, and the dad is dead.
You don't know. No, don't say that. You don't know which kid died.
One of the kids died.
Yeah. The whole point is,
see, Mike.
Like when you go back and when you go back and watch it, it's easier to see that kind of stuff. But upon first watch, you just know that one kid survived and one kid didn't.
But if you've never seen this movie before,
Mike,
you probably haven't listened to our podcast.
Mike, I'd shut the fuck up and narrate.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's not. I mean, let's
Will
just
you
go.
with me if I don't?
Hey, man, I'm with
So
you for the whole ride.
We get to now it's 8 years later, right? It's 8 years.
Is it?
Is it 8? Or is it 12? Or
yeah, but I wrote down about the girl who is water skiing. She has the best screams. Like
she won't shut up. She's like, you've got to help the people.
Take that, Hooray Villages.
Also, when the boat hits them, you see the dummies in that motorboat, and it's so hilarious because it's so clearly two dummies in that boat.
For sure.
It's really funny.
But yeah, 8 years later, we get the crazy Dr. Mom / Aunt.
Aunt Martha.
Mr. Mom?
What's her name?
Aunt Martha.
Martha. Oh. Fucking Martha, I love you. You're fucking
She's
batshit
dead, but
crazy.
all right, I beat you.
Well,
she died on the day that Alex and I did an interview with the guy from This Year It Continues. We did our top favorite movies of every year of the top slasher from every year of the 80s. And
yeah, I listened to that episode.
And she had died that day. So that was like probably about a year ago, 2 years, a year and a half.
Death seems to be in the air today.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Woof.
Go on.
Ricky and Angela are gonna go hop on the bus, but the Dr. Mom has like a string tied around and she's like,
okay, Ricky is Aunt Martha's daughter. Angela is Ricky's son. Angela is Ricky's cousin.
Wait, who's Ricky Martin's daughter?
So Martha is the auntie.
Yeah, she is the aunt of Angela, and yeah, Ricky's cousin. So this is, for some reason, Ricky apparently goes to this camp every year.
Yeah,
but Angela has never gone to this camp, so I don't really understand why that has never. Whatever.
So the bus pulls up at the camp, and Artie, the head chef.
Oh no! This is important. Aunt Martha says she ties the red string around her finger because she goes and gets their doctor's notes that are physicals.
Oh,
and she tells them,
make
sure you don't tell them how you got them. Although I am a doctor, and Ricky says, whatever happens, I'll never tell.
That's a big tell.
It's a big tell. So then it cuts from, she's like, have a good time, dear. She's very campy, very over the top.
So funny.
She's very,
and she says everything she's thinking, even though it might not be pertinent to the people she's talking to.
Yeah, she's very over the top and campy, and she's a little bit drag, like she's like a drag queen kind of, but she's not.
She's great.
But then it cuts to the buses coming up to camp, and before the Baldy thing, there's this kid that's running, Ronnie, and Ronnie's one of the head counselor, and Mel is the owner of the camp. He's the old guy. Ronnie has like basically panties on with
Ronnie's hot.
Yeah, Ronnie always wears like panty shorts and like this. So there's this hilarious kid though that runs. He just jumps off the bus, and when he's running by them, because they're like, "You go this way, you go this way," this kid just like fucking plows out. Like he just falls so hard, and you can tell he like it wasn't meant to happen. He just fucking road burned all like into that fucking mud,
the show must
and it just keeps going. Yeah. It just keeps going. But yeah,
the scene's got to go.
So we meet the head chef Artie, and he's talking about fresh chicken and how back where he comes from they call them baldies. It's like the most overt shit kid. And Ben, played by James Earl Jones' dad. It's not his older brother, right? It's his actual dad. It's fucking Darth Vader's dad. This is Thulsa Doom.
Thulsa Doom, yeah. For sure, yeah.
The flesh is stronger than the steel, boy. But yeah, he's like, them kids don't know what you're talking about, are they? He's like,
back where I come from, they call them baldies.
Fresh chicken.
You're not. He is. You're just too old, and I'm like, he says you're too. They're too young to know what you're talking about.
Not for long. So this is where Ricky meets up with his friend Paul, who he's been best friends with for a couple summers now, and Paul meets Angela. And he tells Ricky, wait till you get a load of Judy. Apparently her
tits she's gotten tits.
Judy finally got tits.
She grew up.
Yeah, because he does the hands over him.
Judy, don't go.
So Ricky's showing Angela around, and Judy's being a total bitch. And we meet Meg and Susie, the counselors.
Oh,
and so Meg. Katherine Khami. We had the pleasure of doing an interview with Katherine Khami, who played Meg, M-E-G, and we are going to play that for you now. So
I'm real quiet in this interview. I wish I'd said more.
Say it now.
She was so beautiful.
Speak now
and
or forever
nice. She
hold
was
your
so
fucking
cool.
peace.
Oh my god.
We are super excited to have Katherine Khami, who plays Meg in Sleepaway Camp. M-E-G.
Meg. The Meg before the Meg.
Got it? Capiche?
Before Jason Statham.
It's wonderful to be here. Wonderful to be here.
Thank you so much.
I'm glad you said it right. M-E-G.
M-E-G.
She's a
you got it? Okay.
Champion.
Capiche? Capiche. So my first question, Mike was like, I don't know what to really ask. I was like, don't worry, I got it. I did this already. I got all the questions, so I don't even think there's gonna be time for this. So I think I've got it covered. But so I read a little bit about how your mom was a classical pianist and your dad was an actor and director, right?
Yes,
so
correct.
You were kind of born into this kind of world. What kind of stuff did your dad do?
He did a lot of stuff for PBS and he had done earlier in his career. He was at Herbert Bergdorf Studios and he had done Broadway shows and some TV series. And then he had a family and he started doing, less and kind of went into social work. But my mom had always been a pianist and played. She was a child prodigy and then accompanied ballet classes. So I was thrown into ballet class at a very young age and started performing. By the time I was 11, I was dancing at the Met in New York with the Bolshoi Ballet, and I loved being on stage and met a girl there, Felissa Schachter, who had been on, what's the show? I forgot the show. Anyway, it'll hit me, but
was it a soap opera? A comedy?
No, she was on a TV series, Facts of Life.
Facts of Life.
Yeah.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both.
But she hadn't done that yet, but she was doing commercials and everything. And I'd seen her, we were dancing together and I was like, I want to do, how do you do that? She said, I have a manager. She gave me the number of a manager. I asked my mom, can I go meet this woman? I was 11. And she's like, yeah, here's cab fare. And I went up and met her and the rest, that's how it started. So, and I said to my dad, I think I'm going to be an actor. And he's like, great.
Yeah. So he was also all for it.
All for it.
What kind of a musician was your dad? I know you said he worked in not NPR or anything, but PBS. But was he like Neil Sedaka pianist or like?
This is her mom. Her mom was.
Oh, your mother. I'm sorry.
My mom was a musician. My dad was more he had like a talk show for a little while on there. And he did sort of his own movies, independent stuff. And my mom was the classical pianist for a ballet company for Broadway show rehearsals and stuff. So I was
so that's the type of music. That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. No, it was a beautiful way to grow up. And New York was so full of theater and everything. It's sort of you got to be creative if you're in New York.
Yeah. Okay. I think the reason that this stands out to me is because I can't remember who this is an old interview that I read, and I think it might have been Felissa Rose. I think it was Felissa Rose that said, or it might have been Karen Fields, might have been both of them. But when they found out that you were in the movie, they were really excited because they had seen you in All My Children. Okay.
Yeah, Felissa.
Yeah. So was that kind of your first bigger role? Because you were in a few episodes of that, right?
Yeah, I did 2 years on All My Children. I was a contract. I was a series regular. So I had done quite a few things. I've been acting since I was 11 or 12, but nothing. That was sort of my big job. And I was only signed to do 2 episodes. And after 2 episodes, they asked me to sign a 3-year contract. And so after about 2 years, I was missing doing other work. It was so hard to do anything else while I was on the show.
Yeah, I've heard that because it's like you just have to roll them out every day.
Movie roles and big stuff too. And I then Sleepaway Camp came along and my storyline had kind of tapered out a little bit. And they gave me permission to do it. And they said the only way we'll let you do it is if we send a car, drive you there, drop you, and then we drive you back. So we're in control of you for the episodes. And I was like, great. So I showed up in a limousine the first day of filming and Felissa was standing there. So I fulfilled her idea.
She's little too.
She's like, oh my God. Yeah.
So were you like what kind of character were you in All My Children?
A bitch.
Okay. So it rolled on with that. Okay.
Yeah.
So what was the audition process like for Sleepaway Camp? Did they just see you on the show or?
No, I mean, they may have. I'm not. I think he kind of knew of me, and was looking for someone very commanding. And my first audition was completely an improv. And he said, be a drill sergeant in the Army, and I want you to yell at everyone, really give it to them. And somewhere in there, I want you to spell out the name Meg and spell it out and add whatever you want to it afterwards. But I want you somewhere in there yelling at everybody. And as I'm sort of doing this improv and yelling at people, he was like, more, yell more, be meaner. And then, that was it. So got the part.
Yeah. And then it got in. And I think that was a lot like Jonathan Tierson's audition. From what I've heard, he just asked him to cuss a lot.
Yeah, that's what he says. Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. So we were talking about this. A lot of times people won't give actors the end of the movie. They'll give them the script, but they won't give them the end. Yeah. So when you got the script, did it have the end on it?
No, not till we got up there.
That's
so when did you find out the end of this movie?
When we got up there.
Oh, so it was when you, okay. So what did you think of this twist ending? And at the time, really overt homosexual overtones.
And mind you, we're pretty groovy.
Well, yeah, because we've talked about how in this time period that in slasher movies, it could be seen as very problematic for the trans community, like Dressed to Kill, stuff like that. However, this is kind of a different situation because Angela Peter she wasn't born in the wrong body that we know of.
Right.
She was forced into another body. So it doesn't really go with that problematic. They're crazy. They're crazy because they're transgendered. It's more of like she's crazy because her aunt was crazy. Right. And made her be someone that she wasn't. And then she was bullied, I guess. I'm mistaken.
No, it's a good question. That's actually, I've never heard it put that way before. That's actually a really good point that she was forced into it, not like, but I mean, I feel like, I don't know. I can't comment on the trans. Karen could. Karen's has a trans son and is an incredible, loves to talk about it and knows so much. I can't really comment on that.
I would love to talk to her about it. That'd be
you got to talk
really
to Karen.
Interesting. Yeah.
Let me know. I'll give you her contact. And she's amazing.
That would be awesome because she's another person that's like I've met Felissa. Now I've met you, and I was like, I have to meet you because that's how has a life of its own.
Yeah, she's amazing. I think it was way before its time. You know, I don't think that's why I don't think it was so popular when it first came out because it was so ahead of its time. And then you had a couple years after that, you had I forgot the other movie. With a transgender person. I forgot the name.
Game?
The Crying Game.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, Crying Game.
Well, there are a few Fatal Games as one.
Yeah.
There's some real weird slasher ones.
Some of them are like, I mean, it's like weirdly insensitive, but the back to Emily's question of that, which was like, I wanted to know, we were talking before, we got on here, and I was like, that's the question I kind of wanted to ask. So it was like, did they keep it out of the script or whatever? And then whenever you get there, it's kind of like like kind of a la Alien chest burster scene or whatever, like, don't tell them, you know what I mean? Like, don't, I just wanted to know if that was like that directorial aspect.
But he didn't wait until the very end.
No, we knew. Sure. Yeah, we knew once we got up there, but we signed NDAs and everything, so we couldn't, tell anyone. But again, it was so ahead of its time that I don't think we really thought about it that much. It was a horror film. It was a small, low budget one. It was like, oh, okay, we didn't really put together everything that was going on until we saw it on the screen, and then whoa, it just kind of
that's the impact. Yeah.
I remember I was about 7 or 8 when I saw it with my friend Kim, and when that scene came up, we weren't scared because we watched a lot of stuff, so we weren't really like scared, but we were just like, what? And we ran around her mom's house screaming because we didn't know what else to do. We were just like so overwhelmed by this, like, what is going on?
That's kind of the lexicon of that kind of movie, though, is like, that's how it gets passed around in like teenage circles. Like, like I'm only like 37 or whatever, but it's like, that was the classic. That was one of the classes. Like, somebody's like, hey man, at the end, and it's like,
but you never told. That's the only movie I would never spoil for anyone. I was like, but also, you have to watch. But also, you watch it a couple times, and then you start seeing a little bit like more of the cinematography and how like it is like a worthwhile movie. But like as a kid, Ricky's
like
playing it,
snickering at 12 years old, and about this stuff.
But Ricky's playing it in all the murder scenes because he wanted Robert. How do you say his last name? Hiltzik. Okay, that's what I thought. He, for one, wanted people to think it wasn't her.
Yeah.
And her mom had said, because she was only 13, that she didn't want her involved in the death scenes.
Right.
So it kind of worked for him because he was like, well, good, because this will work and it'll confuse everybody. Because that scene where Judy, when you watch the Blu-ray, they've brightened up that scene. So when she sees someone and it's someone in the doorway, you can tell it's Ricky. You can tell it's part of the person in it.
Totally.
In the old copy, you couldn't tell. But you can tell it's him in that one.
Yeah. Well, there's still some theories, that people, fans, and even Felissa and Jonathan will have that was Ricky involved. There's still some theories. Seems like
because he's very protective.
Right.
I had such a crush on him when I was little.
I think he knew.
Oh, I
thought he was so cute. I was just
so cute. He was.
When I met Felissa, well, for one, I started sweating so much that I looked like I'd just taken a shower because I was so I was dying. And then we talked forever about the baseball scene, which she's not even in that scene. But I love that scene because it's so hilarious.
Yeah.
And then we were talking about how she had kind of dated Ricky while they were on set.
Yeah.
And she said they kind of dated off and on after that. And I was like, what are those frosted tips? What's with that? And she was like, I don't know. They look so bad. And we tried to call him to ask him about his frosted tips. Because she was like, they don't look good.
I know. Yeah.
But I heard, speaking of dating, that you dated Thomas E. Vandell while y'all were? Okay. He played Kenny's friend, Mike.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
The blonde.
Getting into personal.
Yeah. Kenny, as time has gone on, Kenny's my favorite guy in the movie. He got killed way too early. And he has really, really good style because those shirts would sell for $50 at Urban Outfitters now. Yeah. He always has a blue picture shirts on and stuff. Yeah. And that you thought that he was going to be the next Robin Williams because he was so funny. That's what someone said. I don't know if that was.
He was like my best friend then, and we're still friends. And he was great, but we were kids. We were 18 years old, and we dated. We hung out a lot after the movie wrapped, and then for 3, 4, 5 months, and then we kind of went our separate ways. But we never had anything bad to say about each other. We were just kids, we really we're kind of more just hanging out. But he was
Oh, come
so
on.
funny.
Say something
So
bad about him.
What?
I said, come on, say something bad
No,
about him.
he's coming to Texas Frightmare with us. He's coming out in conventions now. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, where's Kenny? Where's Kenny?
Kenny, he's a real estate guy. John Dunn.
Yeah,
Kenny,
yeah,
right?
that's his name. Yeah. John E. Dunn is his name.
He's a big real estate guy in Connecticut now and won't have anything to do with us.
Well,
I've tried to message him and he doesn't talk to me. So I don't know.
he won't talk to you.
Well, that makes sense.
Tell him if you can to hit us up, and we'll get the dirt on you.
I've messaged him multiple times to come out, and he doesn't even respond. So I'm like, all right, I give up.
Well, not a great real estate agent then.
I know.
You should pretend you're trying to buy a house.
I know.
That's what I'll do. I'll pretend I'm trying to buy a house.
There's a way to box him in.
But he was actually in all my children as well for years and years. He played Tad. John Dunn was the original Tad Martin.
Okay.
And then my first week on the show was his last week. And then we ended up in Sleepaway Camp together. So we kind of knew each other and we were really good friends as well.
Hell yeah.
And they were getting high for real in those scenes, right?
They were getting high. Oh, I have no idea.
That I heard that the scene where all them go skinny dipping and stuff, but they're
really?
This right before Kenny dies.
I have no idea.
Him and Mike are like under under some boats and they're smoking pot. And I heard.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Emily, I think her lawyer advises her not to comment.
I'm not asking if she was smoking. Like, also, it's legal in most states, anyways. Now, so I don't think anyone really
not back then.
No.
Well, I think the statute of limitations is up. Like, I don't think anyone cares.
I don't think Screen Actors Guild would have allowed it. They had reps on set there. I don't think they would have allowed it, but it's a good story.
But okay, so I always thought this was weird. So the thing that's really funny about the older kids that are at this camp, and I used air quotes so you can't see that. So they're like, I mean, Billy's probably like he looks like he's 30 years old. I mean he's like has
classic trick.
I mean, so much hair on his body also. Just and you're playing a counselor, but they're like basically your age.
Yeah.
So what is and I guess Gino too, and some of those other counselors that are not in it as much. Susie's probably around that age as well. What is that? I mean, I guess y'all are just acting, so it doesn't really matter. But isn't that kind of weird? I don't know.
I mean, not really. Like Chris Calais and Felissa and Jonathan were all like 13, 14 years old.
They were
so
little.
It wasn't. And I had just turned 18, so it wasn't that. I mean, you do have counselors who are 18 watching 13-year-olds. So
the older kids that go to camp, like Mike.
Oh,
he's a camper, and it's like, who sends their 17-year-old child?
I know. Yeah, you just go with it.
I would have been like, peace out, Mom. I'm not going to camp. Like I'm about to be 18.
I was too busy trying to justify why I was hot for Mel.
Okay, I'm getting there. I'm so getting there. Like
I didn't have time for that other stuff.
But okay, before that, so we know Felissa had a romance. You had a romance. Did Karen Fields have a romance on set?
I don't think so, to my knowledge. You will have to confirm that with her, but I don't think so.
She's one of my favorite people.
You'll love her.
It really does have a life of its own. That side ponytail lives on. And
Best. She's such an incredible, strong, amazing woman and a dear friend. Like I just love her. Like I can't wait to do conventions just so I can go out to dinner afterwards and talk all night. Like I just love her.
I hope we can do an interview with her. I have a Judy shirt that I got made for myself, and it just says Judy on it.
Yeah, she just got on Instagram about a month ago. So message her and tell her I and I'll back you up. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'll have to get her name from you. But so you do still talk to her. Okay, I was also wondering what it was like to work with Ed French. He did the makeup. It was like his first job too. He's the makeup illusionist. Yeah. But he ended up doing like Blood Rage and he did Terminator 2.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done like huge Terminator 2. I mean, like that's what. Incredible. So and also the makeup in that movie is insane.
The last bastion of practical effects.
Yeah. So what was it like working with him? Because I mean, you had to work with him. You die. So.
Oh yeah, no, he was meticulous. The scene where I have to have do I want to say? Do I want to give anything away? I don't know. But
we give the whole movie away. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We spoil it. Yeah.
Mike's going to spoil it in the intro.
He'll probably spoil it as soon as he starts talking. So.
Yeah. I mean, if you haven't seen it by now, come on. It's been 40 years.
Exactly.
We always spoil. So.
Yeah. The scar down my back took 2 or 3 hours, and we filmed it very late at night. And he had me lying on a mattress so that I was comfortable, and he was just meticulous. Like, I've never seen anyone as meticulous and good. It was scary just to look at it, how real it looked. And when I'm dead and lying there, like all the makeup on my face and everything, he's a phenomenon. Yeah.
It does look real.
Yeah.
I mean,
me.
Or what I would think.
That's the kind of stuff that I like the most. And I know this is kind of nerdy, but like I like one of my side hobbies is like build and paint models and everything. And like practical effects to me are like very important. Of like getting like lighting right and all that shit, and making it look real. Make it pop. You know.
Totally.
Like,
yeah, and then and the patience to do it so meticulously.
Attention to detail.
It's such an art.
Your death is not, compared to some of the others, is not as. And you have a stab scene. And there are others that are a little more grotesque. Judy's, I think, would have been. They did film it, right? They just ended up scrapping it.
I don't know. That's another good question.
I think I read that they did, but I mean, it's a. You didn't get all the bees all over you, and you didn't the all that, but it was real. And also, I guess that's also you. Whereas with the Kenny's death, that's a dummy.
Yes,
and with I'm sure with Billy's death, that's not him with the bees all over him.
I don't think so. I think that was.
I don't think it is.
But yeah, no, he had a lot of work and really made a name for himself with that. He's incredible. Yeah. Spectacular.
And Blood Rage has great effects. So here we get to Mel. What was it like working with him? Because I know that he was very sick at the time, but he didn't tell anybody, apparently, because he died before the movie came out.
Yeah.
He had lung cancer, I think, maybe.
You never would have known.
It was something. But do you have any anecdotes about them? And how do you feel about Meg and Mel's creepy relationship? Because I got the feeling that that Meg was more wanting to get in the owner's good graces and Mel was a dirty old man. But Meg did seem excited to go on this date.
I know.
Like you were excited when you were like, I got a date, and you're like excited to take a shower, and you're like, I mean, I would have taken my time. But you're like, I'm going to this other shower.
Yeah, no, I was trying to justify it from the beginning. Well, I didn't know who they were going to get, first of all, to do Mel till I got up there. I didn't know who was doing. Or maybe I found out and my parents flipped out. They were like, oh my God, he's incredible. He's a legend. He's amazing. So I was excited. And then when I think we had a kiss that they cut. So I never had to actually kiss him, but he was so lovely and such a gentleman and so sweet. You never would have known he was sick ever. Like that, just, you didn't see even a second of it. So I was really surprised when he passed because no one knew. You wouldn't have known, but I think I justified it because Meg wanted power, and she wanted power and to be the boss of everybody. And the most powerful person there was Mel. So if she got with Mel, then she was powerful.
Yeah, that's how I justified it. Because I was like, that.
Yeah, and the lips, okay? The lips, come on.
Ladder climbing.
Or when Anthony finds you too, is like, oh, not you, Meg.
Not you, Meg.
Meg.
Yeah, no, he was so lovely and sweet. And he was like, well, he goes, I don't know, I feel like he said something like, well, I don't know how you feel about this, but this is wonderful for me. And he was just such a gentleman about it and so lovely. And, and a pro.
Yeah, because he was. Yeah. Except for he was in Just Before Dawn, and I don't like that movie. But
oh, no.
Well, everyone knows that I've said it a million times. I just don't like it. He's not the reason I don't like it. So
which movie is that?
Just Before Dawn.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just boring. I called it Just Before Yawn.
I like that movie.
But he's good in it. He's just drunk the whole time. I mean, but what's your favorite scene from the movie that you were in or that you just saw after you? Because I'm sure there were scenes that you weren't there when they filmed.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I loved for my stuff. I loved picking Felissa up and throwing her in the lake.
There are people that said you felt really bad about it because you and Karen Felton and Felissa were so close on set.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, it had to be fun.
Totally. But I did feel bad being mean to her. She was just a little 13-year-old, sweet, innocent girl with the big eyes. But she was like, no, I was like, you understand I'm going to be really mean. She's like, yeah, give it to me. You know, she didn't care. She was such a pro as well. But I think I was so, first of all, I've never picked anyone up besides that. That was the one and only one and done in my career. But picking her up and having all that physical stuff was great. But I was so conscious of throwing her off the dock and not having her hit her head or anything on the actual dock. So that was really scary. And I just, being able to just throw her enough so that she wasn't going to get hurt. And we had to do that a couple of times. So I was very proud of myself that I could do that.
And you shake her in one scene where it's like, pretty hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause you're like,
you little bitch. Yeah.
You're like, that bitch won't say anything. She never says anything.
Yeah. No, she just never broke. I couldn't believe it. She never broke. Amazing.
No, I mean, you can tell she's.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It did get me mad. It's like, answer me, damn it.
I would have felt the same way. It's saying I have to update this. Okay. I'm going to have to. Do I have to do this?
Edit and post.
It's saying I have to update her. I don't have more time.
Boy, let's. Are you still there?
She's still there.
Yeah. Well, let's talk to her.
Well, we are. I'm just trying to do this.
If it cuts out, just send me another Zoom.
Okay, yeah, I'll just do that. I don't know what it's doing. I don't usually use Zoom.
Okay,
So, okay, we're coming. So, I assume that you didn't really work with Frank the Cop. Did you? No. But did you like his mustache?
Of course.
Okay.
Classic.
I have to ask you about the mustache is hilarious. I love it so much. The fake mustache. I don't know with the special effects being done by Ed French. I don't know how they were just like, let's put some felt on this guy's face and it'll look the same.
It was ridiculous.
Those used to grow with Murray's hair wax, like already in them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We're not bred like that anymore.
No, you're not.
I haven't shaved in 12 years and look at me.
That's because you have hair. But we also, I'm sure you didn't work with this person either, but did you know that young Angela / Peter, that's the Situation's brother?
Well, I found out later. I met him later. And I watched Jersey Shore too. He came,
and he was on the family. What's that show where they go and they have like Family Crisis or whatever?
I've heard about
boot
that.
camp. Yeah, they went together for like a family.
No, I think that show is called Found Footage of Who Gives a Fuck.
Yeah. I met him. He was very lovely and fun, and but I think he has some other stuff going on, so he kind of dipped out. Yeah.
And so my last question is, we already did an episode on this, but we did do Silent Madness.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Every time we talked about you, we were like, well, she's just always trying to leave. Like, she just can't leave. She's always like, every time, because I think the whole time I called you, I just was like, well, Meg from Sleepaway Camp, she's just trying to leave. She just has all of her bag, but somehow no one will let her leave. Why can't she leave?
I wanted to be
Why does the luggage go in the boiler room in the basement?
And every time you say anything about the dance, you're like, I'm out. Like,
I want to survive something. I want to survive something, in a film.
You did survive, and you did survive. And you got you found Ronnie's body. Yeah. Ronnie from Sleepaway Camp's dead body in the movie.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't believe it. I don't know how we ended up again in another movie.
Paul D'Angelo. Adorable. It's Paul. That's Paul D'Angelo, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Paul D'Angelo.
Yeah. And he's also in Silent Madness. So was that a fun movie to do?
It was actually, and I got to play the piano, which I loved. So it kind of honored my mother now, and that was great. And she was so different than Meg, and more of a book smart and everything. So it was great to play someone. And it was supposed to be in 3D when it first came out. Yeah. But it didn't come out in 3D, so it kind of just disappeared really quickly. But now, of course, it's been re-released in 3D and everything, so it's much better.
Yeah,
I kind of like. I'd like to watch it in 3D.
It's a weird one because there's a lot of stuff happening that you're just like, what? Why is she?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
The girl with the woman and the guy that they team up, and we're like, what are they doing?
I know.
Happening?
And then another iconic actress, Vivica Linfors, who my parents were also incredibly excited about, that was in it. And she was also sort of an icon at that time and had done so much work. And so I didn't know who she was, but they were excited. So then I was excited. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think they should have spent more time on the girls, though, in my opinion. But,
agreed. I would have always loved more screen time, always.
I mean, it's just more fun when you
Hell
when
yeah.
it's like if they're in a sorority, you get to spend time with the teenage, like with the young kids, like and that kind of stuff. So, what else have you been doing? I mean, we know that you haven't stopped. So,
thank you.
What are you getting into?
Yeah. What are you doing now?
I've done a lot of guest stars and recurrings on nighttime television and films, and I have a film I did last summer that will be coming out hopefully soon. And, just waiting for the writer's strike to be over to continue working.
I keep forgetting about that.
Yeah. My daughter has followed in my footsteps as well as my son. And my daughter's got an incredible career. She's on The Rookie on ABC. She's
hell
yeah.
movies out. She's got a Christmas Hallmark movie coming out next Christmas. She has a movie called We Burn Like This, which is quite incredible. Tour de force for her, which is was out and now you can get it on video. So just looking forward to continuing to work for the rest of my life.
Awesome.
Well, we love that. We want to see more Meg.
Us too. We'll never be able to retire.
No, never.
We'll definitely check out your daughter's
Catch up every
stuff
year.
you're into.
I've seen The
That's
Rookie.
awesome.
She's on the first couple of seasons, first season 2 and 3, I think, and now she's coming back. And she's also an incredible writer and director, and has got a lot going on in that area. So she'll hire me soon, hopefully.
Can you please put me your movie? I gave birth to you.
Exactly.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
Well, okay. So, and you said your favorite scene in the movie. What was it? Regardless if you were in, you said you like throwing her in the water.
Oh,
but
yeah. Well, I love that, but regardless if I was in it or not, I mean, it has to be something with Judy because she's just so iconic. I mean, I'd have to think about it, but I mean, there's so many. I mean, the baseball scene's great, and then Judy
the volleyball
stuff. Huh?
How come she gets to sit there and talk to the boys?
Yeah.
We have to play volleyball.
Anything Judy says is just so good. And
she's iconic.
Ricky's comebacks and just there's so many great scenes. It's hard to choose.
Yeah, the rough language on Ricky is hilarious. Everything he says is so out of control. It's so funny.
Yeah. Eat shit, live.
I have a coffee mug that says the eat shit and live Bill. So,
Brilliant.
I like it when my favorite's when Kenny walks up and he has the bat, and I think Ricky says, "Come on, take the bat off your shoulder." Kenny just is like really quick, goes, "Fuck you!" Like really fast at him, and like it's so funny. He's so hilarious. Yeah, I guess he's a real estate agent now, so.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll get a hold of him.
I'm gonna trick him.
Good luck.
We'll dig up the dirt on you.
I don't know.
But no, we would. Yeah, we'll have to talk to Karen Fields though. That would be very interesting.
She's so interesting, especially all the things she's going through with her trans son is just phenomenal. I mean, I'm so proud of her.
Well, I'd like to know what she thinks about this movie because I mean, this movie. She's not proto
for sure.
She's not trans though. That's the difference.
I know. But,
she was forced into it. That's why I don't find it as problematic as some people would say. Dress to Kill, and all these movies coming out where they're like they're psycho because of their sexual orientation or whatever,
like Fatal Games or something like that,
or
that was more the bullying aspect or pigeonholing aspect.
Well, you know what? Maybe Angela wouldn't have killed anybody if they just left her alone. Maybe it was your fault, Meg. You sort of.
Not me. Fucked up. Not me.
You said, Aunt Martha. You say we got a real winner. We got a real winner here.
Oh yeah. I saw it coming a mile away.
Yeah. But I guess this is where we'll end our interview.
Thank you so much.
Guys, it's been amazing.
Thank you so much for having me. You're such a positive, happy bunch. It was really nice.
No, it's so nice to talk to you.
People
Like,
don't say that to
I
me.
really appreciate it. And it's so nice to meet you. Like, I know this is kind of weird or whatever, but no, it's cool.
Meet you too. Come out to one of the conventions so we can say hi in person.
I want to.
Yeah. Because are you going to be there this year at FrankenCon or
Which one?
FrankenCon? The one that you had to cancel last year. I think Felissa's going to be there maybe.
I don't know. I'm doing 4 or 5 this summer, so I don't know. But
Okay.
I'll look and see.
Well, thank you so much. And we're going to continue on with the movie, talking
Awesome.
about it. So
Awesome.
thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure.
And we will,
Yeah.
hopefully we'll meet you soon.
Definitely. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night. Yeah.
Okay. So back to the movie. That was awesome.
Thank
Thank you so much, Katherine
That was
Khami.
so cool of you to make time of your busy schedule to talk to us.
Thank you so much.
Peons of
That was
horror
so cool.
fandom. But we moving on up in the motherfucking world.
He's rapping again.
Oh, I did rap again.
Yeah, he's officially rapping.
So Angela's like staring at Judy and she's like, "You're a real winner." And we're at the lunch hall and Meg's with Mel and Ronnie and talking about how she won't talk, this Angela. She won't eat anything. So Ronnie's like, "I'm going to take Angela back to the kitchen." And he does so. I guess he's going to find her a candy bar or some shit, whatever Angela's eat. Did she never picked anything, right?
Well, no, she didn't have time.
Peanut butter.
It always works.
Yeah, Meg's like, she's a spoiled brat. Meg, we love you.
Yes. Yes.
And
She says the name's Meg. M-E-G.
Artie's like, "I got this, Ronnie." And
Get down and get with it.
He takes Angela into some kind of like dry food storage area and starts coming on to her kind of. And
He starts unbuckling his belt.
Ben tells Ronnie that somebody's calling on the phones. Yeah, that's why he left.
Yeah. But while he's unbuckling,
Megan's talking shit about Angela to Ricky.
yeah, she tells a joke that says, "If she were in a," he says, she's just quiet, and she goes, "If she were any quieter, she'd be dead." And I was like, that's okay.
That's real.
Weird joke, but
Artie's
okay.
undoing his belt when Ricky walks in, and he's like, Artie kicks them both out. And they run past Mel, freaking out because there's some molestation that was averted, barely. Ben's shucking corn, and they're putting it in a huge pot. And we see some stalker vision happening. And Artie puts a shit ton of fucking salt into this corn water. Which one will do? Hey, wait. Pause. Have you guys seen this video of this cat eating corn on the cob? And it's just like... It's like slathered in corn juice and bits. It's just, I saw it on Facebook. Look for the cat with a Hitler mustache eats corn on the cob. What the fuck? It's the best thing I've seen.
All right. No. Wait a minute, Mike. Wait a minute.
Cats like corn on the cob. I don't know what's up.
What was the Hitler mustache on this cat?
I'll show you later.
Why did you mention that?
Because if you want to see the exact video I'm talking about, there are several cats
the
eating.
HTTP address?
I guess
address.
I'm sure it's a white cat with gray, but it's got like a big black mustache.
And it's a fascist.
Can you go on?
It's a fascist cat.
Cat eating corn on the cob.
Mike, look me in the eyes. Why do you like this?
Like stupid videos?
No, the fascist cat.
Because he's really cute. He reminds me of Bert.
This is a solemn version of
Bert?
not self-milking.
Dude, I am not a Nazi.
I know, you're Jewish.
A Nazi would kill me. I'm not Jewish.
So
but
you watch Nazi cats.
He's not a Nazi cat. He's just a mentally challenged cat eating corn on the cob. And maybe he's just a normal cat, but he's high on this corn.
I think I know what you're doing, Mike.
I don't think you know nothing, you son of a gun. Okay, so lots of salt. Somebody start starts pushing Artie. Ben goes outside to take a break, letting Artie finish up, and somebody comes behind Artie and starts pushing him towards this huge pot of corn. I think this pot was specially made for this scene. I've never seen a pot that tall. In my life.
I mean they have it. It's industrial, like for places
camps.
like camp and where they have to do like big catering stuff. Like they have to have 400 corns on the cob or whatever.
So Artie sees who is doing this
pot
to him.
Are we going back to the Nazi cat?
No, the pot that
He's not
falls
a Nazi.
on
He
it.
just has a Hitler mustache.
The pot that falls.
cat?
No, we're talking about Artie the chef.
Okay.
Okay, so Artie sees who the fucking killer is. They're not a killer yet, but he sees, and the chair gets pulled out. He falls in the pot. Well, the pot falls on him. He's got bad burns, but there's no fucking way in hell he's dead. Okay, so we hear some great screams. Artie can scream like a motherfucker even if he is a pedo. Ben comes in and reacts really well, like oh, and the medical team takes him away. So at this point, when he gets to the hospital and wakes up, he should be like, oh, that little bitch Angela poured that boiling water on me, but he never fingers her. He wanted to finger her, but he never does.
Jesus, man.
Hey, I'm not Artie.
I know, but
the movie should have ended right there when he's like, that little bitch poured this water on
the movie
me.
should end right there, folks.
So Mel wants to keep this a secret from everybody. He offers Ben.
He does say the cop says every nerve on his body must feel like it's on fire, and he's like, is he gonna ever be able to see? And he said, it's too early to tell. So
he already saw her. If he couldn't speak,
I don't think he could speak.
I'm sorry, but burn victims can speak. They're like, oh, everything hurts.
They have, okay.
He was screaming.
Okay,
Mike's been hanging out in the burn unit again.
I don't need to suspend my belief.
Is that where you fucking,
a lot of times
go?
burn victims, if it's that bad, that does end up killing them. So I wouldn't be surprised if that had killed him eventually.
Shut up, Mozart.
And also, I don't think that's going to be the top thing on his. They probably put him to sleep almost immediately if it didn't make him unconscious.
Well, he's going to wake up. How?
Not if he died from the burns, Mike. We don't know. It doesn't matter. Just move on. It doesn't. It does not matter.
Crack
move on.
that whip.
It just doesn't
Just
fucking
get back
matter.
to text
It
messaging.
doesn't
I got
fucking
this.
matter.
Okay, so Ben is now the head chef. He gets a $50 raise to take over, and part of that is staying hush hush. They don't want anybody to know that Artie got burned.
Which Ronnie is like, I don't see why it's such a problem. It was just a fucking accident. And Mel's like, well, I still don't want anyone to know about it. So
this is where Ricky is trying to do a prank of mind over matter on Mozart, and he ends up doing a sit up into someone's ass. Pretty great. And then there's some baseball.
Baseball scene's my favorite scene.
You want to
of the
talk
whole
about
movie.
the baseball scene?
It's just hilarious. They're playing baseball. Like nothing
It's
really
good.
Nothing bad happens. There's a bet, a $5 bet.
It's iconic.
And the younger boys are against the older boys, and it's just a cuss fest.
Well, Mozart's
and
playing electronic boxing, but still manages to make a big catch that wins the game.
yeah, we did say he might have been he was on the verge of being most athletic when we did a Sleepaway Camp superlatives episode with Brad, or I did one with Brad, and
He wins the goddamn game.
we were like, yeah, that catch alone maybe pushed him up to most athletic. But I said also
I bet
most
that Ronnie
intelligent.
can-
And he was
I
like,
bet
why would
Ronnie
he be
can
most
move.
intelligent? And I was like, I don't know, because he glasses and stuff. I don't really know. But Gino, that camp counselor with the midriff shirt.
I'm more Ronnie.
I like Gino more.
I want to see Ronnie and Gino fuck.
Gross.
Katherine Khami, I hope you're not listening to this.
Dude, I don't want to watch anybody fucking unless I'm like on Pornhub or something. Like
Unless I'm planning, unless it's
Shit.
something that I'm planning
Come
on
now,
doing.
like,
Yeah.
Let's be adult about this.
So it's time to go to the social.
Told about it.
It's time to go to the social. And
No, it's not the social. It's
a
just there is.
dance. They're at the
No, that's
community.
later. This is just they're just hanging out in
well,
the.
Kenny's wearing
center.
a bitchin' Blue Oyster Cult shirt.
Yeah. They're gonna go skinny dipping, and Billy tells
They
Kenny.
ask Angela.
No, Billy's like, they say something about how it'd be funny to ask Angela. Because she's weird. And Billy dares Mike and Kenny to go do this, and they're like, he's like, unless you're chicken. And so they're like, fine, we'll do it. And then this ends up being a really hilarious scene there, where he's like, they go up and they're like trying to like put their moves on her, and like she's still not talking. And then they get fed up, and Mike goes, "What's the matter? Can't you talk?" And Kenny goes, I told you she was a nutcase. I told you she played with half a deck. Ain't you, Angela? And he does that thing with his hand where he's like around to say she's crazy. Ricky walks in with that bitchin' cowboy hat.
Oh, but Mel also shows up and Meg waves at him.
Yes, but Ricky walks in with a cowboy hat with Paul. Paul goes and sits down next to Angela after Kenny starts, or Ricky goes up and starts a fight with Kenny and Mike. Now, they make sure to move the cowboy hat before everyone piles into this fight. However, the hat does come back in continuity error, and Meg and Mel are just watching the fight. They aren't doing anything about it. They're just like sitting there watching it happen.
Then Paul starts flirting with Angela.
And this is after they break it up, and Ricky's like, pricks! I'll beep all your motherfucking asses. And Gino's like, we gotta take you to the infirmary before your mouth gets in, you get any more trouble. So fight's over.
Judy's watching the flirting.
Yeah, Judy's talking to these two guys, and they're like real into her, but she's busy watching Paul flirt with Angela.
And I have a note that the music gets really awesome.
It's the it starts playing the final music, Angela's theme, but it has another song playing before that. Anyway, Paul's just basically talking to Angela. She won't answer. He's talking about like all the bullshit him and Ricky's done the last couple and he's
years.
like, he says something about the girls' panties up the flagpole, and he's like, I guess that's inappropriate. And then Gino comes in and says, it's time for this bunk to go to bed. And so Paul gets up and he's like, well, see you later, Angela. And then we have this.
She speaks.
She is. Good night.
Good night.
And he goes, good night.
He's like, wow.
We've got her. She talks it like, I don't know, 45 minutes into the movie. Like,
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Billy and Mike and Kenny and all the dudes are trying to get the girls to go skinny dipping, but Kenny and Mike are then smoking weed, and the boys get naked and get in, and Kenny gets Leslie to go on a moonlight canoe trip, and he's talking about snakes and turtles, and he tips the canoe to scare her, and Kenny's under the canoe. Leslie's just like, fuck this, I'm swimming to the shore, but somebody pops up who is the killer. He pulls
Bobbery Bob.
Boppery Bob.
When he knocks her out of the canoe, he gets underneath her. He's like, Leslie, Bobbery Bob. Hey, Bobbery Bob. And then you see someone with black hair.
He's got a theme song.
You see someone with black hair come up, and he's like, well, I bet a bunch of the guys would be interested in seeing you. And whoever it is pushes him down, and then he like puts his hand up like he's waving goodbye while he's being drowned.
Well,
and
his
then
friends just leave him.
And it cuts. Well,
Like
no, Mike tries to, and they're like, just leave him. He's being an asshole. And then it cuts to
the next day. The lifeguard.
I love Gino? That guy. I don't know who that is, but it's this.
He's angrily cleaning.
He's so funny. He's like, fuck this. Get this.
Goddamn
get this.
Kids.
God, Mel. But you get it. So when he picks over the canoe, Kenny's dead body comes out, and he has a water snake come out of his mouth.
Awesome.
Which is a throwback to something he had said to Leslie in the canoe. He said, right now is where all the water snakes are out, and he scares her. So that's a callback to him saying that a water snake does come out of his mouth when he finds his dead body. And then this is where we see Frank the cop for the first time.
Yeah.
Frank the cop is amazing.
And then Mel tells the cops it was an accident, but Ronnie's not so sure.
He tries to say something, but when he starts talking, Mel is like, he stops him. And then Mel is like, he's like, well, it was an accident. And Frank the cop is like, well, I didn't say that. I said that we'll know more later. And he's like, well, that's what I'm going to tell the parents. And he walks away, and then Frank says to Ronnie, he's like, before he bit your head off, it sounded like you were going to say something. And Ronnie's like, I remember that kid being a damn good swimmer.
Yeah.
So he doesn't. He's like, it's just weird that he would drown.
So then we got Angela watching a game of volleyball, and Paul comes up and starts to ask her about going to the movie together.
She's all talk right now. Now she can talk about everything.
Paul, how you doing?
She's like, oh,
Felissa,
hey, how are you?
And Judy's like talking shit to Meg. We love you.
And she's like, she goes, how come Angela gets to talk with the boys when we have to play volleyball? And
Meg goes over there and tells Paul to scram. And Susie tells Meg to chill the fuck out. It's like, mind your own business, Susie. Meg's gonna Meg. And the kids
Meg's gonna Meg.
So, yeah.
Like, what's wrong with it? She tells Susie tells Meg, she's like, what's wrong? She just said that she was just wants to talk with the boys. And she's like, I don't know.
So the kids file out of the movie night, and Paul walks Angela to her bunk. And Judy says no to...
What are you? What?
Ricky tries to get with Judy again, and she's like, yeah, no.
Oh, she goes, I don't have time for your nonsense, Ricky.
It's true. Paul is kissing Angela. And Judy's teasing Paul.
No, he doesn't kiss her yet. This is where they go back to her. He walks her back to her bunk, and that's when he takes her to the side of the bunk and he kisses her, and she acts kind of weird about it. He's like, is it okay that I did that? And she said, yeah. And then he does it again, and she's kind of weird, and she's like, I gotta go. And she just like goes back to her bunk.
And Judy gives him hell. And then there's
no, she doesn't. She doesn't see it at that point. That's later.
I don't write down things that don't happen, bitch.
Well, it sounds like I know the fucking script.
Well,
guys.
Do you know what happens now? The shaving cream prank on Mozart.
Oh, I did know that.
And he pulls a knife, and Gino's like,
yeah, he pulls a fucking knife because they do the prank where he's asleep and he puts whipped cream or shaving cream on his face, so he gets a goddamn knife out. Like it's like
a Rambo knife that would come in the mail.
Gino comes in and he's like,
what the fuck?
Yeah, he's like, give me that knife.
Mozart.
Overreact.
It's insane.
But then all the boys puppy pile on Paul.
Because they know that he kissed
Paul and Angela sitting in a tree.
Yeah.
Okay. I have written down Burt Reynolds.
He was there.
Mm-hmm.
So
he was there.
Then we got Judy and Meg scheming.
I've seen Boogie Nights. I know what's happening behind the scenes.
The same thing as in this movie.
Meg's trying to talk to Angela, but Angela won't talk back to her, so she shakes the shit out of her. And Ronnie's like, hey, what the fuck? Ronnie's just having Gina did the last one. Good thing Ronnie was there now. Judy gets out of the shower and starts talking shit about Angela getting Meg into trouble. And is like, why won't you take a shower with us? And this is where the carpenter's dream.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. She was like, Angela doesn't want... I bet you haven't even gotten your period yet. Angela wants to take a shower when nobody can see that she has no hair down below.
No pubes.
And at this moment, Susie's trying to stop her, but she goes, she's a real carpenter's dream. Flat as a board and needs a screw.
That's
and then Susie says, stop it. Judy says fuck off. Then Susie smacks her, and
Susie smacks her,
and she runs off.
Judy.
Yeah. No, Angela's like, I gotta go. Like Angela's just like, I gotta go see my cousin.
and
she started
while she's going to see Ricky, she gets hit with a water balloon where these dudes are having a water balloon fight on the roof, and Billy is the one that throws it, and Ricky's pissed, dude. Ricky's going off on Billy.
Each other wet and like glistening on top of a roof.
And so Ricky's just going off. Paul runs and gets Angela, and Mel is like, dude, chill the fuck out to Ricky. And he punishes both Billy and his crew and Ricky. I don't think they get dinner or something. And there's kids running, and Billy says he has to take a wicked dump before the baseball game, and somebody locks him into the toilet with a broom handle and cuts through the screen and drops a hornet's nest into his stall. So he finally does break down the door, but it's too late. He falls over dead with a fucking swarm of bees on his face. You couldn't pay me enough to do that.
Well, I don't think that was real.
You think it was just like a human-shaped honeycomb model?
Yeah.
Well, Mel and Ronnie are talking about all this bullshit that's happening. Mel's freaking out, and he thinks that he knows who it is. He thinks it's Ricky. We don't know that yet, but he does. Angela's lurking and gets scared by Paul, and they go to the lake to kiss, but he's trying to kind of feel her up, and she pushes him down and runs. No, stop. That's my non-titties. And I don't know why I wrote kids laughing at gays, but a boy's pointing a finger at a girl. Wait, is this the
water balloon scene?
We're past the water balloon scene.
It's where the little kids. It's a flashback where the little kids are watching their dad and his lover in bed, and they're pointing and laughing, and then it cuts to them sitting in a bed, and they're pointing at each other, and the bed is going in a circle.
A little exposition.
And then that cuts, and then she pushes Paul off and says no.
And that's how I knew that it was that was the dad's lover on the dock.
Yeah, that's how you know that.
Guy.
That's how you know. But that's when Paul's trying to get in her shirt, and she's when she's having that flashback, that's where she goes.
She violently pushes
she says
him down.
no, and she pushes him off and runs away.
So this is when the rest of the kids are playing Capture the Flag.
They're all playing it, and Ricky's like, I have a plan, and she's like, I don't really feel like it, Ricky, because, she had this thing with Paul or whatever, and he's like, well, this is my plan, we're going to go around from the back, whatever. He has some kind of stupid-ass plan.
But also, this Judy kind of swoops in on Paul.
Well, this is how that's I'm getting. So his plan is for her to go somewhere so he can create a distraction, whatever. When she goes through this shortcut, she finds Paul making out with Judy.
Yeah.
So then she just runs off.
Ricky and Angela both see it.
Yeah. Are
you supposed to think it's one of those two by this point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, well, I think people usually think it's Ricky for most of the movie because, they are his hands and stuff. But anyway, yeah, so she runs off after she sees it, and he's like, Angela. And she's like, whatever, Judy's happy with herself. Ha, okay, cool. So moving on to, they're at the lake, I think.
Ronnie and Mel, this is where Mel finally tells Ronnie that he thinks it's Ricky.
This is also when they throw Angela in the water.
Meg and Judy get Angela and throw her off the dock into the water.
Because this is the second confrontation that they have. But Paul also, before she gets thrown in the water, Paul comes up and starts talking to her, because this is not the time before when he comes up and talks to her when she's just watching them at the lake. He's like, they're very flirty, but this time he's gotten in, she's caught him kissing Judy.
They're getting flirty. They're getting dirty.
He comes and he apologizes to her, and she it seems like she's accepting his apology, but then Judy comes up and he immediately just fucking leaves her there. He's like, here comes Judy. No.
Meg comes over there.
No, but Judy comes up first. She says that Paul called Angela a prude, and Paul's like, you can tell he did say that.
Yeah.
But he feels bad about it. So whatever. They're kind of back together. However, he runs away when Meg comes up. And then Meg's like, it's time to get that beautiful bod in the water. So while she picks her up, Mel grabs Ricky, and he's like, basically telling him he thinks that he's a killer.
What you did. And Ronnie stops him.
And Ricky's like, what the fuck are you talking? Because he's like, how are you enjoying camp? And Ricky's like, it's fine. I don't know. He's eating a candy bar. He's just like, and then he starts saying shit, weird shit to him. And Ricky's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And then
the lifeguard and Ricky are saving.
Then they see that he sees Angela get thrown in the water, and so he runs towards Angela, and then
the lifeguard calls Meg a peckerhead.
Yeah, a peckerwood. He calls her a peckerwood.
Oh, was it wood?
Yeah, peckerwood. Then it cuts to the social. I think.
Yeah, there's a counselor meeting before the social, and the little kids are going to go camping
with I can't remember his name.
Yeah, the other guy.
Gary or something.
Maybe Gary's the
other
lifeguard.
No, he's not.
Kids are going camping with the other
No,
guy.
he's just the little kids counselor.
Your kids are...
But Ronnie's telling they're all together. Meg has the night off.
And she's going to go
eat dinner with Mel. Who has a crush on her. It's real weird. And he tells Gary or whoever that guy is that he's going to take his little kids. Weekdays. There's about 5 or 6 of them.
And all the...
that he has to take them. He has to take them.
Do all those kids die?
2 of them don't because they want. Remember,
the 2 that want to go
they
home.
leave.
All kids die.
Yeah.
I'm jumping
they
ahead,
grow up to be
sorry.
adults. Most of them.
There are 2 that are.
I want to go home now.
There are 2 that are able to leave, but he has to take his little group up to spend the night.
Okay, but back to where we are now. There's too long of a line at the girls' cabin for Meg to take a shower, so she's going to go next door.
Down, man.
Do what?
Put your hand down. Narrate.
I was narrating until you interrupted me.
No gestures.
Fuck you.
No, fuck you.
I went in to talk about what was going on in the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was adding what was going on in the movie.
I was just...
Fuck y'all, go on.
Okay, so the shower line's too long at the girls' cabin, so Meg's going to go next door so she can get ready for her date with Mel. But there's an intruder, and as she's taking a shower, she's stabbed in the back, and the killer drags the knife all the way down through the shower curtain.
Good effect.
It is good. But and they also wash off the blade in the shower. I thought that was a nice touch. And
tap dancing on somebody's grave.
Eddie is the counselor that's with the little kids. And Paul and Angela are hanging out outside the social, and Paul apologizes. And Judy's being a bitch.
Are you trying to do a pun?
Judy's being a bitch.
Paul apologizes.
Yeah, Judy is with Mike now, the blonde-haired guy, and she passes them. And so Paul is still trying to apologize to Angela, and then she says the very iconic quote, which she wrote on my autograph picture that she did for me, where she says, "Meet me at the waterfront after the social." And if you ever listen to the band Body Girls, which was an old band of mine, we had a song about Sleepaway Camp called "Meet Me at the Waterfront."
Swag, and she's not.
Are y'all on Spotify?
No, we're on Bandcamp. It's a band called Body Girls, and we have 2 songs: "Pure Motorized Instinct," it's about Dawn of the Dead, and "Meet Me at the Waterfront" about Sleepaway Camp.
I'm in a band with one of the dudes.
You don't want to talk about that normally.
Which one?
Don't say the name of my band.
Yeah, he was in it for the first show. Yeah, we played 2 shows.
The little kids start whining about being cold, and they want to go back. 2 of them, and fucking Eddie just leaves.
It's Eddie. Eddie, sorry, yeah.
And you see somebody stealing the hatchet that he left there. So Mel is at the social looking for Meg.
Also fucked up because those kids didn't do fucking anything. At least there's a reason for every one of these other people to die. No one should get killed over bullying someone, but I mean, there's a reason why.
Angela wasn't at the dance. She was out killing children. Is that right?
It is a plot hole. She could. I guess she left for a second. They showed a whole movie, so I mean.
But this is the dance.
I feel like they were watching a movie. No, that was earlier. Yeah, it was a dance.
Mike, you're already late to the ball, Cinderella.
Mel shows up looking for Meg because Meg never came to dinner, and Judy's making out with
Mike, and she goes, "Do you have to kiss so wet?" It's so funny.
You gotta kiss so wet. Yeah, that was a good line. But Mel's like, "You shouldn't be reading in the dark. You'll hurt your eyes."
She gets him to hide under the bed, and Mel comes in, and she's pretending to read a magazine. He's like, "You didn't want to go to the thing," and she's like, "No, whatever." Yeah, he says that. Then he leaves, and then Mike is like, "I'm leaving," and she's like, "You don't have to be such a pussy." And he's like, he's afraid of getting caught, so he leaves. She calls him
a chicken shit.
Yeah, and then
and she told Mel last time I saw her, she went next door to take a shower.
Yeah.
So Mel goes next door.
But before Meg is found, Judy gets hers, isn't it? Or is it after?
She falls out right in front of
okay, so
Mel.
he goes over and
he's like, "I'm gonna hit Ricky." So
yeah, he's like, "Oh no, not you, Meg."
Judy's told Mike to fuck off, so she's curling her hair, straightening her hair. I don't know what that shit. And somebody comes in. She thinks it's Mike, and she has a very scornful voice. She's really good at that.
Yeah.
But She gets punched. Oh, and then she gets fucked with a curling iron. Again, I don't think that kills somebody.
I don't think that's what kills her. The killer puts a pillow over her face.
Oh,
I think she got smothered
while the pussy
comes. She was getting the curling iron put up in her vagina.
Ouch.
So then we cut to
hands.
That's when we cut to the campers. Eddie gets back right after that. Shows Eddie get back to the camp.
He sees the fucking chopped up kids. You don't see the kids. You see like bloody sleeping bag lumps.
But it's 4 kids.
So he's just like, bleh.
Yeah.
God, I'd probably puke too.
And then
he runs for help.
Yeah.
Ricky shows up to the social to get food because dinner sucked. And Jeff's like, okay, sure. He comes out with a bunch of candy. He looks like he's stocked the fuck up.
Also, somewhere before this, Mel is like, I'm finished. Because everyone's dying.
Yeah, maybe that's when he found Meg.
Yeah, well, he says that. He goes to Ronnie.
I thought he said that after.
He goes and tells it. He's talking to Ronnie. And
Ronnie gets a call about the dead kids from Eddie.
When he finds that out, Mel's like, we're finished here. And then Ronnie calls Frank the cop. But while Ricky's walking away...
Mel attacks the shit out and starts gorilla pounding. I've never seen somebody attack like that, but it looks really effective.
Yeah, it's
just
bad. He beats the fuck out of him.
I thought he beat him to death.
Well, I think he thought he did, because he thinks he did, because he gets up and he's like, I've got to get away, I've got to run away. And when he's running away, he's in front of the he's in the archery range, and he gets right in front of the bullseye where you would shoot your arrow, and it's one of the best effects in the movie. People, I finally figured out how they did it, but it is very, very well done. You can barely tell. I mean,
he gets shot with an arrow.
He gets shot with an arrow. There is no edit. There's not a cut in that scene for them to stop, put the arrow in, and cut it back in. That is not how they did that effect. They did it with a line, some kind of, I can't remember what kind of line it is, but they pull it down. But they do it really quickly as soon as the arrow goes in, so that when the arrow goes through Mel's neck, it really looks like it goes completely through the front, out the back, and there is not a cut in the film. So
the cops come. The counselors are trying to.
Frank the cop has a new mustache because he was an actor and didn't think he was going to have to film any more scenes, so he shaved his mustache off. So this guy is just back with this mustache that looks like 2 pieces of felt on his fucking face, and it is the greatest thing I've ever seen. I like it more
when it's back.
I mean, it's so fucking funny
when it's on a cat that's eating corn.
Anyway,
so Paul's down at the waterfront, and Angela shows up, and she walks up. She's like, "Let's go skinny dipping."
No, she doesn't. She goes. She says, "Let's go swimming," and he was like, "Well, what about our clothes?" And she says, "Take them off."
Yeah,
that's
And the cop finds a candy wrapper and Ricky laying there, but he's still alive. Yay! So he starts carrying him out, and they're screaming.
Someone finds Meg.
They find Judy.
No, they find Meg.
They find Judy and the cop pukes. He's like, oh.
No, it's Meg, because Susie goes, it's Meg.
Mel found Meg.
She says but she goes, they didn't, Mel,
so they didn't know that.
They didn't know about Meg. She comes out and she says, it's Meg, it's so awful. And then that's when the cop comes back out and he like shakes his head.
Well, Ron and Susie are looking for Paul and Angela. They hear singing, and there's Angela with Paul's head in her lap, and she doesn't answer to them because she doesn't really talk much. But we get the flashback to Peter and Aunt Martha.
Okay, we get the flashback to Aunt Martha talking to a child who is the child that survived the boat crash at the beginning. But this kid has a turban thing on his head.
Bandages?
I guess so, yeah. And she's like, Ricky will be home soon, and we already have another little boy, so another one just simply will not do. Well, I think I'll call you Angela, because that means angel. I'm sure it does. I think you're going to like that name, won't you, Peter? And the kid looks up, and as soon as that happens, Paul's head rolls off of Angela's lap, and she stands up, and she turns around, and it cuts to Ronnie and Susie. She starts hissing. And Ronnie and Susie are like, oh my God, it can't be. And it cuts to her again, and cuts back, and he's like, oh my God, she's a boy. And then it cuts back to Angela, and she has a penis.
You see the penis.
And then it cuts on her face, her growling
Fades to
face.
green.
And it fades to that fucking kick-ass song, You're Just What I've Been Looking For by Frank Vinci.
Frank Vinci.
Okay. This
Do you need help opening that?
That's for you. That's yours.
This
okay.
is mine?
Yeah. So kill count. 1 is John Baker, who is killed by a speedboat at 5 minutes in.
Cool.
And one of John Baker's children, who is killed by the speedboat at 5 minutes in. 3 is Kenny, who's drowned in the lake at 35 minutes in. 4 is Billy. He's stung to death by bees at 50 minutes in. Meg has her back slit open with a knife at 1 hour and 4 minutes. Number 6 is Judy, who's smothered and penetrated with a hot curling iron at 1 hour and 12 minutes. Death 7, 8, 9, and 10 are the young campers who are found hacked to death with a hatchet at 1 hour and 12 minutes. 11 is Mel. He's shot with an arrow through the neck at 1 hour and 15 minutes. And our 12th death is Paul, who is decapitated at 1 hour and 19 minutes. Our non-counted death is Artie, who is hospitalized after being burned with boiling water, fate unknown. The budget of this movie was $500,000. It made $11 million.
Damn.
The film became an
Deserve it.
which now, okay, so nowadays 11 million equals 33, almost $34 million.
Damn.
No. I mean, I can see how it made it. Like,
Yeah.
it is the right time, the right movie.
Yeah. The film became an unexpected hit and somewhat of a cult favorite for horror movie buffs. It made 22 times more than what was spent on it. So, the director, Robert Hiltzik, dedicated the movie to his mother, who died before production began. The financial inheritance from her death provided the bulk of the movie's funding, which is probably why he called her a doer.
Hell yeah, mama.
This is Mike Kellen's final film, Mel. He was sick during filming, but did his best to conceal it. He died of lung cancer in August of '83, 3 months before the film's release. He also played Ty or whatever in Just Before Dawn, who I kept calling Tid. Okay, so Jonathan Tiersten was given the role of Ricky after an unusual audition in which writer-director Robert Hiltzik asked Jonathan to curse him out. As a child, the writer-director Robert Hiltzik actually went to the camp used in the film. Felissa Rose was only 13 at the time, which is unusual for a feature film, because studios usually cast actors 18 and over who look younger because of the restrictions on using actors under 18. Also at 13, she was too young to see her own movie in the theater, so she was paid $5,000 for her performance. When casting the role of Angela, Robert Hiltzik would have the actresses stare wide-eyed and straight ahead while also pretending to eat a candy bar. So that was her audition. So Felissa Rose does not speak for her first line for 31 minutes, until 31 minutes into the movie. As we were talked about in the interview, Felissa Rose and Jonathan Tiersten, who played Ricky, developed a romance during filming, but broke up soon after. He was 17 and she was 13. So, okay.
Muskrat love.
Young Peter, this is one of my favorite pieces of trivia. Young Peter is played by Maximo Gianfranco Sorrentino, the older brother of Mike the Situation Sorrentino of MTV's Jersey Shore fame. A shot of dead Judy was cut. This is why I would really like to talk to Karen Fields, who played Judy, because apparently the shot of dead Judy was cut by the MPAA for being much too grisly. Jane Krakowski of 30 Rock fame was originally cast to play Judy, but dropped the role once she learned of her death. For Artie's severe burn sequence, the actor was propped up on a fake floor, and underneath liquid gelatin was pumped through the blisters, giving it in the impression that it's pulsating, which I thought was a really cool effect. The climactic scene was accomplished. I did not ask her about the college student, but I bet she wasn't around for the filming of it. Katherine Khami, the end. Yeah. But the climactic scene was accomplished using a nude man who was in college, wearing a mask cast from Felissa Rose's face.
He was nude in college?
The kid, the guy that played, the guy whose body was used was a college kid.
He went to college nude?
No, he was just in college.
He's new to the
He was
scene.
like a professional streaker.
No.
They allow that?
Okay. Anyway, so they got someone that they thought was thin enough who stood in for Angela. He was a college student who needed to get drunk before he was able to do the scene.
Was he the nudist?
He was just a college kid. I don't know why he...
Well, I mean, if I was a nudist, I'd probably have to get drunk for it too.
Though originally uncredited, because he was very embarrassed about the scene. It has since been revealed that the identity of Angela's body double was Archie Liberace. It is his first and only screen credit.
Archie Liberace. That can't be a real name.
Comic book
Felissa
Liberace.
Rose's mother did not want her to be the killer because she was so young. Jonathan Tierson was the stand-in and hand double for all of Angela's actions during the murders. His more masculine hand with veins could better throw off the audience as well. He even donned a wig for the backlit shot in which Angela finds Judy in the dark. We talked about that in their interview as well, because in the if you watch the Blu-ray version, you can actually tell it's Ricky in that shot.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you rate this movie?
I've got two notes. I really like James Earl Jones and his dad. Ben also was in Maniac Cop 2, Cockfighter.
He was in fucking Sundance Kid.
Trading Places.
He was
The
in
Sting.
The Sting. That's it.
And Paul was in one of my favorite movies that nobody ever talks about, Prayer of the Roller Boys with Corey Haim.
Yeah, he's in something else too that I really like, and I can't remember what it is. But he also kind of looks like that kid that was in Bloody
He looks
Birthday.
kind of like a Canadian Corey Haim.
But he looks like the kid with the Bloody Birthday, and then he was the brother and just one of the guys.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They look alike to me. What do
Christopher Collett.
Yeah. What do you rate this movie?
3.5 to 4. Really, really good.
That's a 3.75.
Yeah, I think it is, but a strong one.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna agree.
I mean, no, dude. Any kind of horror fucking shit. If you're growing up and like watching horror films, this one's on the way.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a. Okay, it is one of my favorites. I give it a 4.25.
You have to watch it.
I give it a loose 4. Or a hard 4.25, loose 4.5.
It's good.
It's seminal.
Ha ha.
I think it's got seminal, Emily.
If you're gonna watch horror movies, you have to, and specifically if you're gonna watch slashers, you have to watch this.
This is the epitome of a
I mean,
so much
Friday the 13th. It's all these camp movies. Personally, this is my favorite camp slasher.
I can see that.
I'm not a big fan of The Burning because I think that
What
they
was that Liberace shit you guys just said?
Liberace Alfredo.
that was the guy's name. But
What's his name?
Archie Liberace.
That's weird.
I don't think it's real, but
I hope it is.
But the reason that I talked about this when we did The Burning. I think the reason that I don't really like The Burning is because one, I don't really like it when they're final boys. I don't know why, it just doesn't work as well for me. But I also think that they blow their load so hard in the raft scene.
Are you punning it out?
There are pacing issues for me.
All these cum references?
For that, there are pacing issues.
Usually it's Mike.
There are pacing issues in that movie for me because
pacing issues
because of the raft scene. But I think the raft scenes.
Do The Burning?
We've already done it.
Already.
But the raft scene's really cool. The raft scene's awesome, but it kills so many people in that one scene that like there's a lot of time where nothing's going on. So that's why I don't like it as much. I think this is the perfect camp slasher
camp movie.
It's the one to
the sequels are a lot of fun.
The sequels are a lot of fun. They take
it in a different tenor.
Yeah,
this one's
take it in a different direction. Now Brad likes the other ones better. He doesn't really like. He doesn't like this one.
It's a different type of feel.
But this one has a more serious tone. The other one's Angela, who's played by Bruce Springsteen's sister, Pamela Springsteen. She's kind of like a Freddy. She becomes like a Freddy Krueger with her one-liners.
Or Bruce Willis or some shit.
And she's a very moral kind of like killer.
Goody.
I will say I don't understand why Angelique had to kill those 4 kids in this one, because the other ones all make sense. They've all done something wrong to her. Did you ask
Felissa why she wasn't in the sequels?
She didn't. No, she didn't want to be. She wanted to go to college, I think, and she also didn't like. She was wanting to go to college, and it was a really fast shooting schedule because they did them both back to back.
Yeah,
they did it in like 2 months. I think they did 2 and 3.
Some people,
which I think benefits those movies,
and I don't think that she liked the way that they were taking the character. So
also like some people believe in their future and and what they're capable of, Mike. So
hey, sometimes you just gotta ride the horse that got you to the race.
So stay gagged on Angela's penis at the end.
Stay gagged on candy bars.
Stay gagged on Archie
candy bars.
Liberace.
Yeah, that is his penis.
Archie Liberace and his fabulous
awesome
candelabras.
With Meg.
And stay gagged on Katherine Khami. We love you.
We
Hey,
do.
thank you. Yeah,
Stay
thank
gagged
you so
on Judy's
much.
side
She made me
ponytail.
nervous.
That thing is wondrous.
Stay gagged on a beehive on your motherfucking face.
Stay gagged on all of their clothes, actually, because high fashion, in my opinion.
Beehive on your motherfucking face. Is that a clothing brand?
No, it's a Wu-Tang link.
Stay
It's not-
pussy.
I don't know. I just
Stay
made that up.
pussy gagged
Oh,
on a
they're on the
hair
swarm.
straightener.
Yeah. Stay gagged
Yeah.
on all of our social media, Instagram, TikTok, gagmewithanivepodcast.com, and Twitter, gagnivepod. Become a Patreon for a member. Shout outs, fan requested episodes, bonus exclusive episodes, and early access to episodes at www.patreon.com/gagmewithaKnife.
Yeah.
And buy our merch at gagmewithanivepodcast.com. And we will see you next time
Ciao a tutti.
for Father's Day. Father's Day.
When I look into your eyes, it comes as no surprise. You're slipping away. And yet, you're the love of my life. It's so cold at night. I'm begging you to stay. I know it's all a masquerade. I know you're not afraid. You're just what I've been looking for. No other boy can love you more. You're the only girl I adore. You're just what I've been looking for. Time, man, your broken heart just don't fall apart. The truth will hold inside. And yet, I don't wanna let you go. I don't wanna let them know. Pain you have to hide. I know it's all a big charade. I know you're not afraid. No, you're just what I